All right, welcome to Metro Weather Watch. Zachary Jennings here. I'm also accompanied by Tony Merriweather. So right now we're watching. Let's go ahead and get right into it here because this has been kind of a situation that's starting to get going here. Once again, we have more storms forming. The second round of today, actually, and second event this week already. So we've kind of dealing with a lot of severe weather the last couple of days. It's been out of the ordinary for this year. How it's been, this year's been pretty quiet for us. So starting to kind of pick it up here just like this week here. But right now, though, we've been watching this pretty significant rotation. Possible. I wouldn't be surprised if it touched down earlier. I'll kind of zoom out or back up here to kind of show you what I was talking about. Pretty much right there, you can see where that really strong couplet right there, just to the. This is in Illinois, by the way, Southern Illinois. And a few minutes later, the tornado warning went out. So let's go ahead and advance forward here. I'll go ahead and give you an update on where that tornado warning's at. So right now, it's going to be out for the southeastern Union County in Southern Illinois. It's until 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you're in this area, or you know somebody in this area, have them make sure they're in a tornado safe shelter, just in case this thing decides to wrap back up really strong like it was. It's kind of weakened on the latest frames, which is a good sign. But it was definitely, you see this pronounced hook right here, and it was definitely right there, really wrapped up right here. Like I said, I would not be surprised if it touched down in the little town of Balcom here. That was very significant looking couplet there, and also hook echo. So that's something we're going to have to really watch over these next few minutes. If this continues, if this continues to be the case that we have to deal with later on as we go into the rest of the afternoon, it's definitely going to start progressing into parts of our tri-state area. So it's really pretty much right on the border of our tri-state now. So we're going to go ahead and start. I know we have some people in Cape Girardeau area. I think we do have some people from there, in the Missouri, all throughout Southern Illinois. So we're going to make sure we stick to these storms just for them as well, and also give us kind of advanced warning pretty much for our metro area and other parts of the tri-state. Tony, got anything?
No, earlier we were kind of thinking that maybe the atmosphere was kind of worked over a little bit from the earlier storms, but we had enough. There was a big enough window for the atmosphere to recover. So, and this is where we're getting right ahead of that cold front.
Yeah. And that's right, because it's it looked like earlier this morning after that first round came through, hit Evansville with that pretty decent thunderstorm earlier. It looked like it's probably going to be, probably wasn't going to be too much this afternoon, but and even models started hinting at it pretty much being a non-event really. But as the afternoon progressed, I think the sun started peeking out in places, and the models picked up on that. And sure enough, they started showing these storms firing up again. And sure enough, we actually kind of noticed it first before I looked at the models, because I noticed the storms firing back here. Southern Missouri, you see just tons of little cells just popping up, and eventually this is what it's turned into. And already, more than likely, just produced a tornado. I wouldn't be surprised in the Balcom, Illinois area. So where the storm's going to be heading, though, next, we do have a fairly populated area, actually, that's heading toward in the general direction of Vienna in Illinois. If you know anybody there, make sure you go ahead and start getting prepared. And there's a severe thunderstorm warning right now. You are under severe thunderstorm warning now. Start getting prepared now. The storm is moving toward you. It's pretty much moving due east. And luckily not as significant looking on the rotation wise, but we'll have to watch this closely, because this could very well.
Still has a hook in there on the radar.
Yeah, it has a hook in the radar, and there's still some broad rotation and abroad. And so, we're definitely have to watch this storm very closely, because it's going to be starting moving toward, like I said, Vienna, Illinois. And eventually, if it, I don't know if it'll probably continue on this track here. It may go start. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little northern shift in a little bit. This news frame right there. Let's see how fast these things are moving here. Let's see. It's only moving at 30 miles per hour, so not moving too fast. Sometimes we get these storms that are moving 60 around here a lot. So it's actually, as a chaser, that's something I like to see a lot, actually. So slower moving storms, but I know some other people, it's actually sometimes better to have 60-mile-per-hour moving storms. That way they move quick, but get out of the area quickly. But at the same time, then it also has where, we have tornadoes on the ground. That can also cause a problem, because you don't pretty much lessens your time of advance warning pretty much. So this storm we're definitely got to watch, though. I think it's not the only one either. And of course, there's some more storms up to the north as well. It's just not getting picked up by the radar because it's so far away. If I move to Evansville's radar, you'll see it, including this storm up here. Carbondale just had some storms move through your area, Marion, and eventually Harrisburg going to be dealing with some of these storms up here in the north.
And Zach,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm taking a look at future radar right now on my phone app. It's a pretty good NOAA phone app. looking at future radar, and if this storm holds together, it could potentially affect the Morganfield, Kentucky area. And if future radar is, if this holds true, the northern extent of these storms, which would possibly be just a tad bit weaker, would reach Evansville and Mount Vernon.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely something we're going to have to watch. You know, I'm real familiar with this area. This is kind of this is pretty much when I, because I'm mainly what I do a lot of the time is storm chase. I do a lot of storm chasing, spotting, weather spotting and stuff for the area. And, you know, I'm pretty familiar with this area in the Morganfield area and Harrisburg, Shawneetown. This is kind of my route from Owensboro. It goes through Henderson, Morganfield. That's kind of my route. I follow that a lot of the time for these storms, and look at this storm, how it's coming in. I really like, if I was out in the field right now, I'd really like my situation right now.
Highway 56. People who live in the Highway 56 corridor, like Zach, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Zach.
Good.
People living in the Highway 56 corridor from Harrisburg to Equality, Shawneetown to Morganfield, you're going to need to keep a heads up and keep an eye out for these storms to roll through your area, because future radar is showing these storms plowing right through those areas, right down Highway 56.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see these storms are starting. You know, you kind of seen them. You know, they were kind of moving more due east, but now they're starting to get that northern turn slowly but surely in them. So that's definitely something we're going to have to watch. Harrisburg is going to be a really close call for y'all, but definitely Shawneetown, Morganfield. That's going to be kind of the areas in our tri-state, especially, that are going to have to really watch this particular storm. I don't know if do we have anybody in the Vienna area, and I don't know if we have too many followers in that area, but the storm is coming towards you. Let's see the latest velocity scan. Yeah, once again, the velocity is starting to show. It's starting to wrap back up, it looks like. More than likely, this tornado warning will be extended, I have a feeling, toward the Vienna area. So if you're in the Vienna area, you definitely want to be starting to get in your tornado safe shelter. This is taking pretty much it's moving pretty much right to you. Also, I'd go ahead, if you're in the, Bailey, that's pronounced Bacombe or Bacombe. I'm not sure. I think it's Bacombe. If you're in that area, if you're in that area in Illinois, make sure you're also in your safe shelter. Cypress, I would also be in your safe shelter. Maybe not necessarily for the tornado. It might be moving just to your north, but you will be getting some pretty decent thunderstorms as well from this. Yeah, definitely if you're anywhere between these areas. And this is a pretty popular area. You kind of see on the map here. Decent population all the way up through here. You see houses all along these roads here. And, of course, the town itself of Vienna. So you definitely want to be in your tornado safe shelter if you're in this area. If you know anybody in this area, make sure you get them in their tornado safe shelter. So yeah, we're just gonna continue to watch the storm closely as it progresses, and let's go back to velocity here. I'll kind of go back a little bit and kind of show you. So that's when it really wrapped up. I have a feeling that's probably when it dropped the tornado more than likely. Probably weekend there, and then now it's starting to see those blues kind of work back in, and you know it's more than likely starting to try to wrap back up once again. So more than likely we could have a tornado on the ground. Not sure exactly as of yet. National Weather Service probably gonna be hoping for somebody to confirm this one if it is. So we'll see how it goes, though. I mean, it's kind of open enough where it might not be rain wrapped. So we'll find out before too long. I mean, it moved right over the town of Bacombe, though. So more than likely, we're gonna figure out if this did produce very soon. It will. I know. So. Looking up north as well, you got some stronger activity up here as well. It's going to be in the Benton, Illinois area. Christopher, Cesar, Ewing is going to be in, and getting hit by the storm soon. That's another storm we're going to be watching. I can't really tell if that's more than likely that's a thunderstorm up here, and that'll be kind of affecting probably moving north, just north of Vincennes area. I might have a feeling, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Once I move up to Evansville, we'll be moving to Evansville eventually, because these storms will kind of be moving toward that radar site better. We'll probably get a better view eventually, and then we'll be able to see what these storms up here are doing. So this is the main one I want to watch right here, because this is going to be possibly affect a pretty populated or decent population area. So also you got the hail as well we're going to be watching. So let's go to vertically, and yeah, there's the hail. And yeah, very significant hail. The size probably right there. It's probably at least, probably quarter of an inch of hail right there, maybe. It's definitely dropping some type of hail more than likely, given that type of signature. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that as that also goes. And it's kind of, you notice it's kind of out ahead of the radar? I'm not sure if it's a little bit further. Okay, that's probably what it was. It's probably just a little bit further ahead of it. See this nice little kink still form, really strong kink right here in the little hook echo. Wasn't as pronounced as it was back there, but well, it actually is still. It just kind of like, I guess, filled in with the rain around it. So yeah, velocity's kind of broadened out a little bit though, so that's a good sign. But I wouldn't be surprised if this thing's probably touching down, touching down, lifting as it continues to off and on wrapped up. And we're gonna be seeing it. I wonder if they're gonna continue this tornado warning.
It's pretty much beginning to move into that severe thunderstorm warning area.
Yeah. If I was in the Vienna area, I'd definitely be taking shelter. Not only for a severe thunderstorm, but also I would be prepared for just in case, because this thing's definitely looking pretty significant on radar for possible tornadoes. So I'd definitely be prepared for the worst, really, on the tornado side. So, yeah, definitely be in your tornado safe shelter for this one, even if they don't continue the warning here. Because I don't know how it's going to, just looking at the radar image, if they don't continue it, that doesn't mean it's necessarily the threat's over, because it's definitely continues to show signs of trying to wrap back up. So we'll see how it goes, though. Let's look at the INROD here. And you see when it, see right over Become, after it showed that really strong image, you see that real bright green right there, the blues and stuff. Yeah, it's actually right there as well. More likely that was where the tornado went. And then it kind of got a little weakened after that. So, yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to continue this warning, though, how it looks for the tornado warning at least. But, yeah, definitely be prepared, because I'm just not liking the sign of that real strong kink and hook echo right here. That's, that little hook in the line right there.
And the radar just updated on GR level 3, and it's the hook is a little bit more well-defined, and the hail core is getting bigger.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm about to get the update as well here in just a second. We should be coming over now. Let's see. Nope. Okay, it didn't come through this time, but yeah, you can definitely see it right here. And he said it on the latest on scan on GL level 3, which is another one. This is GL level 2 analysis. But GL level 3 though was the one. Let's go ahead and throw this in 3D though. Let's do that. Do a 3D scan of this storm. And wow. Look how tall that thing is getting here. We'll put it on the big screen. That shows that's a violent thunderstorm right there. That's getting up to 50,000 feet. Yeah, that's definitely impressive. It's a very impressive thunderstorm.
Pretty stacked storm.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Vienna, they're getting a really nice sight of the storm as it moves in, though. I mean, this is pretty much, if you're in Vienna, this is pretty much what you're looking at right here. I'm sure that's insane looking. I'm sure it's really crazy looking. So yeah, definitely be in your tornado safe shelter if you're in Vienna. Also be in your severe thunderstorm, practice that as well for this one, because it's going to have some hail and more likely strong winds as well. So waiting on an update here. See if we can get a new update on the velocity scan. Should be coming across now. Nope, we didn't get one that time. Let's see about the some got a radar.
While we're waiting on that, just want to mention real quick that earlier, when the earlier storms that went through southwest Indiana, as they passed through Evansville, they did cause some minor flooding out on the southeast side and out on the north side in the First Avenue area. They have some of the streets flooded out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and lots of reports of flooding, I know, throughout the area from those storms, early morning storms here. I know West Kentucky's still kind of dealing with, after Nate kind of came through here Sunday. I know West Kentucky got a lot of heavy rain. I know Owensboro got a decent amount, and down toward Madisonville, they got hit once again. And of course, now Evansville added on to they got some rain as well this time around. So, yeah, definitely we'll have to keep an eye on this stuff, because this could add on to these totals that could cause more problems for the roads that are already kind of saturated and stuff right now. For the ditches that are along the roads, I'm sure a lot of roads still underwater, and if these storms continue to do what they're doing, that just add to the troubles that we're going to be having. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. So I haven't got an update yet on this, but we'll go ahead and go to the hail tracker here. And the good news is that's not as bad looking anymore. That's a good sign. The hail's kind of weakened here on my scan here on the latest, on the vertically integrated liquid. So it's a really good sign here. So yeah, it's definitely a really good sign that at least the hail part of this storm is definitely weakened. Let's see what the radar though looks like here on the latest. Let's see if we get so we haven't got one. All right. So hopefully we'll get one here shortly, but yeah, no. So they don't look like they're continuing the tornado warning. I think they're gonna just hope it stays broad rotation. It is broad rotation. I'm gonna say though, just to be safe, go ahead and get in a tornado safe shelter in Vienna, Illinois, and Macomb area, and Macomb Illinois area, because just to be safe, this thing has wrapped up very rapidly. I mean, it took literally, it looked like this, and all of a sudden it wrapped up right over Balcone back here. So yeah, definitely make sure you're being a tornado safe shelter just to be safe for this one. I think that's probably the best bet you probably could do, especially looking at this radar image right here. I mean, that's a clear sign that this thing could definitely wrap back up real quickly. So just make sure you're just prepared and be ready for that if we have anybody watching us from that area, or if you know anybody in that area. The storms that those going to affect the Simpson area, Eddyville, Elizabethtown, maybe. I don't know, Elizabethtown might kind of be on the more the southern extent of that one. And then, like we were saying, eventually it could be moving into the Shawneetown, Morganfield area too. So we'll have to be watching out. We'll really have to watch a storm. There's the radar image. There we go. Okay. And yeah, you definitely see the hook echo still. You still see that hook echo in there. See velocity update as well. And yeah, definitely being your tornado safe shelter. It's trying to tighten up again. So Vienna, if you're watching, anybody from Vienna, make sure you're in your tornado safe shelter, because I know there's no tornado warning on this, but it's definitely showing signs of rotation. And hopefully Paducah will put a warning on this here in just a minute. I know, because hopefully they definitely need that. So yeah, definitely go ahead and get in your tornado safe shelter if you're in the Vienna area though.
Yeah, GR level 3, you can see the couplet pretty good. Shows the red's going towards the radar, and red's going away from the radar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely, let's see what the inrot's showing here. Yeah, you see these little lighter blues right here this time. It's no greens yet, but definitely right there though. That's what we're kind of watching right in here. You see that every time I see the little blue, I get, it starts kind of showing me some rotation there, and more likely I wouldn't be surprised it's trying. It's really trying to. I know that much. And you see that kink in the radar as well. So I mean, we got every sign that this thing could be trying to produce at least. Definitely has rotation and definitely is trying. So we definitely, in the Vienna area, make sure you're in your tornado safe shelter. Bacone, looks like you're gonna miss out on the tornado part of the storm, the tornadic part of the storm, but definitely getting hit really hard right now by these probably heavy rain, probably torrential rain. How it looks, probably maybe some hail, and more than likely some strong winds as well. So yeah, this is gonna be a really close call. We'll have to watch this really closely, see what Paducah's gonna do here. Hopefully they'll put a warning out on this. Give these guys a little bit of heads up. I'm kind of surprised they canceled it just to be safe, because it was showing rotation still. I think they're just trying to not cause too many false alarms, I think is what they're trying to do though. And it's because we have had that problem over the years where we get something, we'll put out a tornado warning, nothing happens, and the next tornado warning no one pays attention, and then boom, we actually might get hit. So it's I think that's kind of what keeps it in the back of their mind. So when it just goes broad and doesn't look like it's going to produce it right away, I think they let these warnings go sometimes. Just sometimes a good idea, sometimes it could end up backfiring, but if it gets people, I guess, paying attention to warnings, hopefully they can get them out when they need them. So
actually, I'm getting a better look at the storm on the velocity data from the Paducah radar, and yes, and there's still some rotation back there.
Oh yeah,
still some tight rotation back there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I'm saying. Vienna, like I said, I've been saying it since it was just laid off warning. Yeah, definitely stay in your tornado safe shelter, I'd say, for this one. It's definitely a dangerous storm.
And one thing, we're not getting quite fast updates like we were yesterday, because Paducah has it set on 4-minute updates. Yesterday it was set on 1-minute updates.
Yeah, they probably haven't upped it yet. They'll probably start doing that as it looks like maybe a little hail starting to try to form back there again. But probably they'll start doing that though as we start getting closer, as the storms really start ramping up. I'm hoping they start speeding this thing up a little bit for us. That way, we can help get the warning out quicker. We'll see how this goes though. So yeah, you see the storms all the way down, even to the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Wow, they're just lining up all through here, all the way up. So yeah, we definitely got a nice significant line here forming, and so really supercell. This is definitely a supercell right here, pretty much embedded in, kind of starting to embed itself in this little kind of line. It's kind of a line. It's more of a, I don't know, kind of like a complex in a way. So we'll see if it continues though. This storm's trying to ramp back up though a little bit. It keeps trying. See what the latest velocity scan is. Still unupdated. We're about 5 seconds away. See if it'll download. Sometimes it says that, but it actually doesn't until the next round. But it is one of those. Okay. You know anything new from it? Nope. So yeah, I haven't got anything new. You still see that. We can still see the hook echo though in this storm. That's still showing signs of rotation. That's that wraparound right there. So we'll see how this goes over the next few minutes here, because this is moving right to the Vienna area. That's concerning because it's fairly popular in that area right there, and it's also has multiple highways that run through it. So people on the roads, getting home. Some people might be getting home from work. Some people also getting out for dinner, stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely want to be getting ready for this storm as it moves in. So. Tony, is your where's the storm out on your radar right now? Is it a little bit further advanced at all, or is it in pretty much the same area?
GR level 3 is showing it. Get the right buttons there. Just to the northwest of Vienna.
Okay.
And I have an update getting ready to come through in about 15 seconds.
All right. If you want to, we can switch over to yours if we need to. Because GR level 2 seems to be going a little slower today. We'll see. I'll just keep an eye on it though, see if maybe it wants to speed back up. It's up to you though. You want to switch over here in a minute?
We can keep them the same. I think they have them both set on 4-minute updates, but and surprisingly, it didn't update. It went back to retrying, so they might have it down to 1-minute updates now.
All right. Yeah. So I got So I did get an update here actually just now. Still see this kink. It's starting to get kind of wrapped into the rain though. It's really wrapping itself in there. You still see it right in here though. Velocity, that's a good sign. Velocity's not looking too good either. So more broad now. So hopefully Vienna, this is a good sign for Vienna. They're going to look out here and the storm will kind of just move out of the area. They'll just get some rain and wind from it.
And just want everybody to know we're not neglecting the cells that are a little bit further to the north. It's just the one down here further to the south is the only one that has a warning on it right now.
Yeah, this one is definitely the most violent thunderstorm that we have out of these storms so far. And if we get any storms that start firing up really strong up here, we'll move around. We'll switch over to Evansville's radar as well, kind of move around and see everything. The main reason why I'm watching this one too, because this is going to be affecting places like Morganfield, possibly Shawneetown, which we do have a lot of followers in this area, and eventually it could even affect Henderson and maybe even close to Evansville. I mean, it would be really close. Especially if it moves much more north. Right now, it's pretty much moving east northeast at about, like I said, 30 miles per hour. But it could, it should start probably pushing a little bit further north. So if we get much more of a northeast turn, we'll definitely have to start watching this for, especially Henderson mainly, like Henderson and. Like I said, maybe Evansville. We'll just have to wait and see. Though more than likely, I think this thing might pass just to the south, and hopefully by then
that rotation is beginning to move over Vienna right now.
Okay. Yeah, and you still see it right there. That's the hook echo. You still see it it's getting kind of messy on my end, but definitely still see it. Still some different coloring in here where it was at as well. So we'll just have to wait and see if it tightens up. Like I said, Vienna, just stay in your tornado safe shelter just to be safe for the time being. Just wait till the storm moves over, and then you can get out, and hopefully everything will be okay. But we'll see how this goes. So we're still waiting on an update again, another update. Hopefully we'll get a good one here, and we'll see how it goes. So good news is, so far I haven't seen any storm reports pop up at home. That's a good sign right now. I don't know if maybe they got lucky. Maybe it just was more likely it was probably just something tornadic wise. Either it might have just stayed a funnel though, hopefully, or something like that, or rapidly rotating wall cloud or something like that. Maybe it stayed like that and it didn't touch down. I'm sure we'll find out though before too long. Because like I said, it moved right over Lacombe, Illinois, pretty much just south of Jonesboro, so which kind of includes parts of Jonesboro and Anna. So pretty. Like I said, fairly popular area again. If anybody was traveling on the highway there, so
also the storms just to the west of McLeansboro, just to their west, just outside the tri-state, north of Benton, those storms are starting to power up.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and picture this in motion. You won't be able to tell too much, and of course, it looks like it's weakening on this screen because it's moving away from the radar site, kind of out of the range. But Well, we'll cut up here. We'll cut up to Evansville Radar real quick. Give you an update on that for our followers up there. See how these look on Evansville's radar. Won't be able to put in motion just yet because that's wait till it downloads here. See if it'll pop up quickly for me. There we go. So yeah, you can see these storms right here. These latest scanners are actually kind of intensified. This back one here. These are like you said, they're gonna be moving toward the McLeansboro area, Malice Shoals, Carmi, Enfield, McLeansboro. Enfield, of course, that was pretty. I remember that city pretty well after earlier this year in February when we were tracking that large tornado in that area. So remember that one pretty well. Hopefully it doesn't look like it's going to be that significant though down for this one this time around. So hopefully that'll be a good sign for these guys as we get more severe weather moving through once again, or trying to. So well, I'm going to hand this over to Tony real quick. I'm going to switch it back over to Paducah. I'm going to take a quick break real quick. Tony, you want to take over here? I'll move back to Paducah radar. And you got the notes for Vienna.
Okay, keep an eye on the storm that's over Vienna, Illinois. It's still showing some rotation on the radar. Again, we haven't got any storm reports off of it yet. See if I can scan in here a little bit. I'm not sure if Zach has my screen up on the radar where you guys can see it, but there is still some rotation in there, and it looks like it's weakened just a little bit with this latest update that just came through. But again, we still haven't had any storm reports by Buncombe. Hope we're pronouncing that right. They did have some broad rotation pass over that area, and as of right now, no reports of severe weather. And the Weather Service is still going with a severe thunderstorm warning for the Vienna area. And we're also keeping an eye on the storms up here just to the southwest of McLeansboro. There's a storm passing over Benton, Illinois right now, and that storm currently has a little bit of rotation in it. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Back here in the Evansville metro area, we're in the clear right now, but these storms are approaching southwest Indiana and western Kentucky. Okay, and I'm going to just leave the radar here. Zach still has his radar up, so I'll just leave it here. And as a matter of fact, I think Zach is popping back in right now.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what this storm is. Is still looking? Yeah, it's actually kind of trying to wrap up more on the southern side now. Have you noticed that too? I noticed it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of, let's see, put it in motion here. Yeah, kind of got in the rain. It's starting to try to get back out though. Vienna might get kind of lucky on this. It's kind of moving more on the south side than I thought. I thought it was going to be more on probably the north side of Vienna. But now kind of looking at it, it looks like it might just kind of pass just to the south side of or at least on the south side of Vienna for this rotation. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. It's still keeping that eastern turn, which might be good for the Morganfield and Corydon area, but not so good for like Sturgis, Clay, and Dixon and people like that over here if it continues on this track and continues its strength. We'll just have to see how well it holds together, though, I guess. Really, it's just going to be depending. I mean, we're about to lose sunlight, so that's another thing. We'll see how much the sun plays against this storm here. So far, though, I think the latest modeling, when I looked earlier, it has showed these storms kind of hanging together, though, pretty well until it got up to just probably about Evansville, Henderson, Madisonville, and really start kind of weakening as it moves toward as these storms kind of move toward like Owensboro on the eastern side of our tri-state. So hopefully it'll weaken a little bit quicker than that, so we don't have to worry about too much severe weather for our metro and other parts of the tri-state and everything that's been already kind of hit, like I said earlier, stuff. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. So still no storm reports from Balcom, so that's really good. Never Jonesboro, anybody like that, nothing significant right now. Very good sign so far. It could just mean nobody really seen anything yet, or it could also mean that they're just not really reporting it out yet, or they haven't just put the storm report up yet. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if you know anything, though, if you have heard anything from the storm or any of these storms up here, feel free to message our message on Metro Weather Watch, or also I guess you can comment on the YouTube channel here on the live stream. I think, Tony, if you can put the link up here, you can actually watch that probably a little bit or something. You just put it on mute or whatever, and you can keep track of it. You can pause it if you want. That way it's not using the internet. You can just kind of keep track of the comments pretty much. That way, if anybody has any questions, though, or any concerns, we can move it up, or we can answer them on here. So take a look at the hail, the latest hail core. Not too bad on vertically integrated liquid, so that's a good sign. That's a really good sign that it's not too bad as right now. So we're just gonna keep an eye on these storms as they continue to move off to the east northeast. Almost due east, almost really at this point. It's still continues. I think that's what they're actually. Yeah, they're still calling the east pretty much as of right now. 30 miles per hour. Hazard 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. And I don't know if they give any. I don't know if they talk about the rotation of the storm at all, but. And they did put on here. They put tornado possible on the warning, so just to be safe. So they did at least notify. They did put that in the severe thunderstorm warning that a tornado is possible to form at any time. So that is good that they did that with this warning. At least did that much. So that way they can avoid putting out a tornado warning necessarily right away for something that keeps back, weakening, then re-strengthening, weakening, jumping around like that. So, and there's the latest scan.
And yes, that storm is now moving due east at 25 miles per hour, the one over Vienna.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was telling them, I guess you see that where this says the tornado possible on there, so they did keep that in there, like I said. Yeah, so this continues. If it continues to push due east like it is, we'll have to. Oh, and there's a storm report. Several trees down between Anna and yeah, right here where that rotation was. So several trees down between, in particular, the city of Balcombe, just off of Highway 51. So they said, as right now, they're saying that's a thunderstorm wind gust. I have a feeling that more than likely that was more than likely a tornado. We'll have to wait and see. That's exactly where that rotation is. I can back that up and actually show that. Well, let me let this load up here real quick. For now, we'll keep it like the latest image, but I'll back that up here in just a second to show you where that storm report's coming from. And here we go. Yeah. So where that storm report coming from right here, that's the velocity scan. And yeah, so right there, literally right where that significant, look at that coupler right there, Tony. You see right there? And a few seconds later, that's exactly where the storm report came from, those trees down. So more than likely that was a tornado that touched down. So there's a storm report right there. So this thing more than likely dropped a tornado right there. Right now they're calling a severe wind gust, but I guarantee that was more than likely, and they'll probably be doing a storm report on that, I guarantee, tomorrow. So yeah, we'll have to definitely watch that closely. More than likely that'll be a tornado report tomorrow. So we'll see if this thing tries to produce again. I bet $100 on that one. It's more than likely that was not a severe thunderstorm gust, like they're saying. That was more likely. And another warning just went out, actually. And this one's actually, yeah, this one's going to be kind of moving. It looks like it's going to be tracking right to the north of Paducah as the southern part of the storm here starts to get going as well. So 2 storms getting going. Both of them are kind of out of the area right now. I'm noticing some lighter colors up there as well, so we might move up there in a minute. And this one's definitely due to the wind. You can see that light blue right there. That's showing like 50 to 60 knot winds, which is like 60 mile per hour, 60, 70 mile per hour winds. So yeah, definitely you see why that warning went out for the severe thunderstorm warning there.
The storm to the west of McLeansboro is getting a hail core on it.
Yeah, so this storm's starting to strengthen up. We'll go up here real quick. We'll do another update. I'll switch over to Evansville. We finally got our first report, though. I had a feeling that was coming. And sure enough, here it came. We'll see how this goes, though. All right, so yeah, this is the storms that were. So that's actually a little. I think it's behind. We'll let this download again. It has a red download here, so we'll go to vertically integrated liquid here. Let's kind of re-download it here. Takes a second if it's not over the computer to load it all up at the live stream. So there's the latest. Okay. So we have, they definitely see these storms starting to try to strengthen up a little bit. So that's I need to kind of click the download button to kind of keep it where I can see more progression of this storm. I'm kind of honestly surprised they didn't still have the tornado report. Honestly, given what the radar was showing.
Yeah.
Down there, yeah, the Belcombe, Illinois area. I'm really surprised that there's still that as tornado, given how significant that radar image was. But yeah, that's what they went with for now. Looks like they actually let that severe thunderstorm warning cancel even in Vienna, which is a good sign. This one was kind of weakened a slightly bit, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. So now we kind of put this in motion. And you can see these storms are starting to strengthen up a little bit. So we'll be watching this next people in line here: McLeansboro, Enfield, Springerton, Mile Shoals, and Barn Hill. Multiple areas throughout here. These storms are starting to ramp up, and we're going to keep an eye on these as they move. We're going to try it on the I-64 corridor here. So just south of it right now. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on all these storms because these are going to be what's moving in here. So far though, so good. I mean, it's all these warnings have been allowed to cancel down there, except for the one down there toward Paducah. We'll have to keep an eye on this. This storm also down here, that one that was producing earlier, it is kind of concerning me a little bit because it is kind of making since it's moving such due east right now. It's it is kind of starting to make that kind of turn toward like Madisonville, which we have a lot of followers in the Madisonville area. Not saying it's going to necessarily make it there. I mean, it is weakened a bit over the last few runs, so it's a good sign for that storm. But I'm just kind of looking ahead for our tri-state area where these storms are going to be affecting, and Elizabethtown, Marion, Madisonville, Dixon, Morganfield. Then up here, of course, along the I-64, Evansville, Carmine, McLeansboro. We'll have to be watching these storms up in here as they're strengthening it up as well, along with these storms down here. So definitely a lot to look at and a lot to watch for. We're just kind of keeping an eye on everything, how it goes. So, Tony, got anything else right now?
No, I'm keeping an eye on the storms up there by McLeansboro. Just checking the intensity on those while you're tracking that storm down to the south.
You finally eating now?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and switch. We'll go ahead and, while he's watching this, he's got on these storms, and they're actually kind of weakened on the last image, so that's a good sign for that area. Well, one has, at least the front one. I think they're just kind of like mess with each other right now. We'll have to watch what these things, how they go over the next few minutes, though. For now, though, we're going to switch back down here. We'll go down here and just kind of keep an eye on these storms because these storms will be affecting West Kentucky. And this storm still, well, that was an old image, but this storm was still just a few minutes ago. It's still kind of showing the hook echo in here, so that's something we're going to have to watch out for. Rotation's kind of messy in there. There's probably some broad rotation, though, still. And we'll go to Enright. Yeah, I think the red image get a little messy with that one, but definitely see it in there still as we progress. All right. So yeah, we're gonna continue to watch these storms as they progress through here. There's a lot of stuff to watch really right now. As these storms, we just pretty much got to watch how intense they get. Really, that's kind of the thing we got to watch for. These storms down here are pretty intensely right now. I mean, they're pretty strong looking. So, and one severe, of course, right down here. These almost kind of looking like they're starting to take a little slight southern turn. Actually, you noticing that too, Donnie? It's almost like I guess these updrafts up here are forming and kind of like pushing it southward. Almost seems like.
Yeah,
just this little extent.
Check it out in motion. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to. You've got some moving northeast and some trying to take a southern turn.
Yeah, it's definitely and that probably saved, honestly, it might save Vienna from this possible whatever's rotating in here. If it if it would have been on the ground, it definitely that little southern turn might have saved Vienna if it would have had something on the ground like that. So that's kind of something we had to. It might have been a good sign for that. There's still a hook echo on this storm though in Vienna. There's broad rotation still though. It's nothing like really significant as of right now. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, hopefully we'll see if we get an update here. See this. I'm trying to really watch this part of the storm here, and also we got this one in here. I'm not sure how many followers we got in the Paducah area. If you're on Paducah, you probably want to start getting prepared. The storm, since it is starting to try to take a little southern turn there, that particular storm probably may impact parts of the Paducah as well. See the velocity here, and you still see very significant winds in there. Like I said, 50, 60 mile per hour winds, probably maybe 70 at the highest. Probably around 60 though mile per hour winds in that. And then yeah, I can't really see much of rotation. That's a good sign. Probably some strong winds all throughout this storm though. Probably 40, 50 mile per hour winds all throughout it. And there's the latest image actually right there. And still see that hook echo. That's that's what kind of concerns me. That means that that's still there. And so yeah, we'll have to watch that little kink in the line right there. These storms, the storms kind of still, from the Paducah area, I know they're getting kind of blocked, but they are kind of look like they're kind of slightly weakening up here. The ones up toward McLeansboro area. I'm not sure though exactly without being on the Evansvilles, but they aren't looking as powerful as the ones down south right now, which is a good sign for our northern part of our tri-state.
And those storms are showing somewhat of a weakening trend.
Yeah.
We'll watch them to make sure they don't pulse back up.
Oh yeah. Oh, do we know what this highway is right here, Vienna? It runs through Vienna, goes east to west. Because if you're on, I know this highway right here. I'm trying to think what this highway might be.
That looks like State Road 146.
State Road 146. Okay. See, why I bring that up because with this hook echo still showing in Vienna, this thing could wrap up at any time still, and it's pretty much going to be dragging. If it continues on its track, it's just going to drag right across that highway, all the way to like Golconda, stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. We definitely need to watch this because if that continues to be the trend, that's going to be an issue probably for that. So just looking at that, that's definitely not a good sign because they're just going to be following that highway. So anybody on this highway definitely needs to probably start getting prepared to either get off of it or get into shelter of some sort because this storm is definitely going to be bearing down on you. I would not be surprised to see this thing try to wrap back up again. Just looking at the hook echo, it's kept a hook echo for all the way since it's been back toward Jonesboro. And that's always a good sign that more than likely it's going to try to wrap back up again. And let's do a wide, what I'm going to do a wide 3D scan of this, and we kind of look at all these storms. Of course, they're starting to get cut off by the radar, the ones down here, but the ones up north here, I'm going to put in a full screen so we kind of move around. Still some really high tops on these things, about 50,000 feet in the air. These little striations you see, and just where they're getting too close to the radar, and it's starting to cut it off because it's going up into the atmosphere and it's just getting too close. So some of these are could be to see how high these go. Yeah, you see all these storms though. We'll look at this from the back end of it. We'll go right over top. Yeah, it's definitely pretty intense looking. We'll let's see what rotation shows, if anything. No. Base velocity. Yeah, there's just a lot of cool views on these. You can get on this storm. Yeah, the base velocity though. Trying to get it in view here, but yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do with these on here, and yeah, we'll go on back to radar though. I just want to look at that on 3D. But yeah, like I said, there's still on this storm down here, and that's going to be moving eventually. I mean, we're going to be starting to talk about this could be moving to the tri-state eventually. So if this continues to be a trend, we may have to start kind of maybe a little concerning for parts of our tri-state. Yeah, and then we got the storm down here for Paducah, for our folks that we have in Paducah. We'll definitely have to watch that storm down there. Up here in McLeansboro, can't really see from this very angle, but storm's still showing up here. And we'll go ahead and switch while there's nothing going on down here for a minute. We'll switch up here.
Those storms on GR level 3, they look like they're going into more of a cluster.
Yeah. So.
And the intensity really hasn't changed in the past 5 to 10 minutes.
All right, so yeah, the good news is there's not much of a way of pinks or anything in that like there was. So they have weakened a little bit, but definitely something we need to continue to watch because these could fire up as we go. But definitely, I think the more concerning storms on these are going to be for down here in our southern part. I'm really starting to wonder if these don't fire up before too long. I don't know how these storms are going to handle themselves as they get up further east they go, and the further into after daylight, pretty much they go as well. So that's something we're going to have to watch as well. It's we're just going to have to really keep an eye on these. The storms down here to the south, I think, are very concerning. How they're looking, just because of how pretty much just how significant and strong they are right now. And I think this one, like I said, they've also produced a history already as well. Put some damage down over there in just south of Jonesboro in Illinois. Yeah, these are going to be starting to push their way into the West Kentucky area soon. So that's another concerning. It's going to be crossing that river soon. And this one's, of course, the southern storms actually already has, and it's pushing right toward Paducah. So a lot of stuff to watch, especially down here. I think these storms up here we'll just have to keep an eye on, really. But so far, so good up here, though, for the 64 quarter. Goes for Harrisburg, even Evansville, Mount Vernon, Carmi, Clinsboro. So definitely a really good sign for these areas. Fairfield up here. Hopefully that'll continue to be the trend, and these storms won't really be able to get going. And hopefully these storms down here also start to weaken, and we won't have much to worry about tonight. So just keep an eye on that, though. We'll switch on back to Paducah where all the action is, and we'll just keep an eye on these storms. So we'll go ahead and give a recap real quick. Of course, this storm was really wrapped up in, oh, wow, look at this latest image on here. That's not a good sign. That's also, they're probably see the velocity scan, more than likely. Let's see. Yeah, looking at the radar scan, that's pretty significant. That's a really defined hook echo. That's going to be pretty much it's going to be probably moving just to the north of Reevesville in Illinois and Brownsfield in Illinois. We'll have to really watch that, though. So I'd start getting prepared for this one if you're in these areas along pretty much I think you said the route was the highway. Let's see. Do it, Tony. Give me the highway earlier, but anyways, yeah. Pretty much if you're in the Brownsfield area, I definitely start being prepared. This is likely. I wouldn't be surprised if a tornado warning on this. Just looking at that radar image, I don't know how the velocity is going to go. There's still broad rotation on velocity. Velocity is kind of messy looking. Let's look at en route, though. Yeah, definitely see it right in there still showing up. It's almost like, yeah, that's definitely a really well-defined hook echo right in here, though. So I definitely got to keep an eye on that. So let's see if we get see Paducah, what they decide to do with this, because that's, I think the radar is just slightly ahead of the velocity, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, no, pretty much right on. We have a tornado that's going to be right in here. It's between these two highways right here, just to the that'll be just to the east of Vienna. So that's something we're going to have to watch closely. It's kind of moving east-southeast almost now, really. Almost pretty much due east, though, for the most part, with a slight southern turn. Put this in motion here. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if we get another radar image and see what Paducah decides to do with that. I think they're probably seeing that as well. I'm sure they're probably getting concerned about that. So let's go ahead. We'll put this in motion. We'll kind of show you. It's kind of skippy right now, but here we go. So you can see that storm, and you see that wrapping around right here. You see it come in and wrap, and just wrap around. That's usually show a strengthening rotation. So we'll definitely have to watch that. Anytime we see that, I've been kind of concerned. Like I said, I've been talking about this for a while. I've been concerned about this hook echo, and that latest image definitely impressive looking. If it's not, let's see what it does here, though. Hoping for a new velocity scan. Velocity may kind of show something on the next scan here. I think radar must have got something before velocity did. It almost seems like. And that's kind of how it was back here in the Lacombe area. Velocity kind of picked it up before the radar scan. The next, it was kind of like it kind of looked better on velocity. Then all of a sudden, it looked like a really strong hook on radar. This time, it's kind of looking like strong hook. So hopefully, this time we'll see something on velocity this time around. We'll see how it goes though. Hey Tony, do you have anything on Geo Level 3? Not sure if he's with us here. He may be muted still. We'll see though. If he comes back here in just a second. Yeah, I'm not sure how it looks on Geo Level 3. I'm not sure if there are any more advanced. See if we get an update here. It's 5 seconds. It says for the next one. Sometimes it just depends though if it's actually coming around or not. Okay, so we didn't get a new scan on that. Let's see about INROT though. And still, yeah, it's definitely showing something in here still. Vertically integrated liquid, not too bad on that. Not too much hail in this anymore like there was. It was showing really significant hail in there earlier. But right now it doesn't look that bad. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on this though. It's definitely I'm gonna keep an eye on the storm. Update for our friends at Paducah down here. Definitely look like this line still continues to power up. No more light blues in there. It doesn't look like that's really good sign. So it's not putting out those really significant winds as it was, but still probably pretty strong winds here. That's still probably 50, maybe even 60 mile per hour winds still in that 40 to 50 maybe. And they did put a severe thunderstorm warning on that, on the storm up here. So new severe thunderstorm warning out. It's going to include west central Pope County, Southern Illinois, and southeastern Johnson County, Southern Illinois until 7:30 p.m. And let's see, yeah, tornado possible still. So that's something they did put the tornado possible on here again, and that's something we'll have to watch. So hazard 60 mile per hour wind gust, radar indicated. Yeah, Tony, I was seeing if maybe the Geo 3 may have had a different velocity scan or something. But yeah, I was just seeing this really significant hook echo popping up on radar here. But velocity still kind of showing it, still kind of broad, but I'm not sure here. We're going to have to watch it.
Yeah, there is a couplet on there. There is some broad rotation there on this storm.
Yeah. There's latest radar image. It's just really starting to kind of bulge out there. The hook echo, if we have, it's really right in here. This would be a pretty impressive storm to be on for a storm chaser. I know that much. I kind of wish I was there in a lot of ways. Let's go and put this in 3D though. And it's getting kind of messy. It's kind of hard to see. See if I can back it out. Yeah, it's getting a little too close to the radar site, and it just, yeah, a lot of messiness with it. We can't really see it like it was earlier. We could really see it all, but it's still very tall. I mean, 40,000 feet, maybe 50 in spots. So still a very tall storm. But what to keep an eye on this thing as it continues to show that hook echo, though. Yeah. Pretty impressive looking. And it looks like, at least from Paducah's view, I know it's kind of, it looks like those storms up north toward McLeansboro are really starting to die out.
Yeah, they continue to show, try that again. They continue to show a weakening trend.
Yeah, so that's a good sign. I think these southern storms are really going to take I think they're going to take the lead on today's event. Well, maybe not an event. We'll just have to wait and see. But like these storms are going to be really the ones that take the lead today, though, on the southern extent. So it's good signs for our southern Indiana and the northern section of southern Illinois. But for far extended, pretty much south of Harrisburg and pretty much south of Evansville, though, all bets are still on the table right now. We'll have to really watch this as it moves in, as it moves toward West Kentucky and across the river here very shortly. Let's put this in motion, though. We'll kind of put it in motion here, show you the latest. It's going to be interesting since those storms up there, which kind of started turning the storm a little southward. I wonder if that's going to start playing influence again on these storms right here. We're going to continue to start it. Yeah, go ahead.
There is a significant weather advisory for southwestern Hardin, central Pulaski. And these are some counties that are out of our coverage area, but pretty much associated with what we're talking about.
Okay. So, yeah, so they are putting significant weather advisories out on these. So, all right, real quickly, though, Tony, I'm going to let you take over. Let me just keep this in motion real quick.
Keep the just keep the radar up in motion. I have to step away for a second.
All right. So yeah, we'll take a quick break real quick as these storms get ready to cross into our tri-state. I know we've been tracking them for you for the time being, but me and him are going to take a quick break before these storms do enter our tri-state, and we should be back within the next few minutes. So thank y'all for watching, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We just got back from a quick break here. Don't believe Tony's back with us just yet, but I want to give an update here. So as you can see, this is the storm we've been watching here, both of these storms here. And this one's beginning to make its way toward Paducah. It's still showing pretty significant winds. This one's still showing a pretty decent broad rotation. And still see that hook echo right here as well. That's been the kind of the thing. It's been having a hook echo for a long time now, all the way, like I said, all the way since back toward Jonesboro. So from here to here, it's kept at least broad rotation on it. So that's something we'll have to really watch as it pushes. It's about to push into West Kentucky. And really, we're going to be watching this Providence, Marion, Shady Grove, Repton, because these are going to be the areas, and these are going to be the areas that are going to start making their way toward here. Cave and Rock. So a lot of things to watch here over the next few, and there's some more that's keeping an eye on as these push toward West Kentucky. Will these hang on? The good news is all these storms up here have really significantly weakened. Not severe anymore. Actually, never were severe. Not even strong though right now. Just mainly some heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder, and that continues all the way up. I am seeing some activity up here, beginning to form just to the east of St. Louis. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well as that progresses. Keeping a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm. They just cut back on it a little bit. Let's give an update on that. Severe thunderstorm warning. Southeastern Johnson County is canceled. And so this one is now going to be in effect for only Central Pope County, West Central Pope County, till 7:10 p.m. Oh, at 7:10 p.m. Sorry about that. So this is the update right here. So yeah, let's see what they have here. So radar indicated, and still showing that possible tornado on there as well with that hook echo. So that's kind of what they're doing right now. It's going to be moving pretty much due east at 25 miles per hour. Still, I've noticed it has a slight turn in it, and you can kind of see right there. It is starting to straighten out a little bit here. Looks like over the last few runs here. We'll see how far, if it goes much further south though. So this has been the main concern though right here. I mean, these storms up here are not really significant. They've really been weakening. I'm starting to see some development though, like I said, back up here. So that might have to be something we have to watch if those continue to keep going. So we'll see how this all goes, though. It's starting to get close to West Kentucky. West Kentucky, I know they've been hit last couple of days now. We had some storms earlier this morning, and also then they also had the Hurricane Nate when they came through. Some of the remnants, we had an outer band hit and dropped a lot of rain throughout the West Kentucky area. So this is not a good sign for Western Kentucky as another heavy rain producer, especially is moving through. This definitely has torrential rainfall all through it. And that's definitely making a V-line right for these areas that have already been, they've had a lot of rain over the last couple of days. So, and not only just last couple of days, but today as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on these as they push forward. See, look at the latest velocity scan if we got anything new. And still, you see a still broad rotation and everything right there. Nothing really tightened up yet, but definitely still there. And right, still see it right there as well. So yeah, definitely that's something we'll watch. Let's go to Hell. The vertically integrated liquid here, and there we go. So you see the Hell tracker here, and that shows maybe some pea-sized hail, maybe nothing too significant though here. So these Hell cores, they're going to show that every once in a while though, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting half-inch hail. That's kind of how it goes though. It's always usually a little less. I kind of play it off as I usually knock down about 1/4 of an inch off it every single time usually when I see something like that, because it's still not 100% accurate when it comes to the Hell core vertically integrated liquid tracker. But anytime you see anything over usually half an inch though, you start kind of knowing something's probably falling out of that with it's frozen. So we'll go and throw a 3D scan, see if it's a little bit better looking. We'll have to kind of keep it confined to this part of the storm. And you see the radar starts cutting it off right there, so that's why I kind of did that. And let's see, we'll put it full screen. Still about 40,000, 50,000 feet. It was a little higher back before when it was over the Jonesboro area. But now, and actually, let's see. Whoop, wrong button. That Hookah starting to get a little bit messy looking. That's a good sign. Maybe it's finally starting to lose that that little hook echo that we've had. We've had a consistent one, and maybe that's a good sign for us here. Still seeing so you'll see some rotation right here, just really broad right now though. Nothing that's probably dropping anything right now. So very good sign right now. Hopefully that continues and these storms continue. Hopefully begin to weaken, and hopefully the fall what these storms have been doing. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it though. Put it in motion, see what the latest. Now these part of the storm still showing pretty significant thunderstorms activity. The southern extent though down here is starting to it's not really getting going very well, and of course the northern extent isn't either. So good signs for this, but we just have to. This is the main part of the storm right here. We're gonna have to keep an eye on. So far so good. We'll just have to keep an eye on these storms. Real quick, since this is still out of the tri-state area, I know we tracked that tornado warning earlier, and we'll just continue to give updates as we go. I'm gonna take a little more break here, and we'll get once it. I think we'll come back as soon as it crosses the river. I'll keep this going for you, so you can keep track of these storms. I'll kind of keep a zoom out, and I'll put it in motion. And I think once the storm starts getting close to Paducah, we'll go live, and then at the same time, this storm will be crossing over into West Kentucky as well. So we'll have two different storms to really start watching as they start pushing into the tri-state. So technically, I think we're pretty much already there. I mean, it's really close. Harrisburg, actually, let's see. See some activity trying to spread up towards y'all's way. So you might start to see some thunder. Here's some thunder. If not, I'm sure you probably already have. Nothing too significant though, by the way. So a little quick update for Harrisburg. I see all the heavy wind and stuff that stayed south. You may get some gusty winds there a little bit, but nothing too significant. We'll keep an eye on that though. We'll just keep an eye on these storms, and as soon as this storm crosses into West Kentucky here, or this one hits Paducah, because I know we do have a few followers in Paducah, we'll go back live. We'll come back and start tracking them. We'll keep the stream going though, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Metro Weather Watch. Here we have been tracking these storms live here as they've been moving through southern Illinois, and they decided to go with significant weather advisories, pretty much for all these counties ahead of this little segment right here, and just give kind of I think that's pretty much what they're going to run with right now. Just see, here's the let's stop this here. So you see as this is moving right forward, pretty much just starting to bear down Paducah here. So if you're in the Paducah area, probably gonna start seeing this is probably definitely a nice shelf cloud. You can see that little extension, little line right here. It almost looks like a line of green kind of out ahead of the storm. So I'm sure Paducah is getting a really nice sight right now of that. Yeah, you'll be seeing that nice shelf cloud, and then the heavy stuff will be moving in after that. Let's take a look at velocity here. And you see a couple areas that are kind of concerning right here. You see these two right there. That's kind of what I'm watching. These two areas are right here. And those two areas are going to be the ones that could cause problems tornadic wise. And of course, this is the same part of the storm, which finally the hook was kind of gone. It's pretty much gone now. Just kind of a little kink in the line now, though. You see, it's really kind of folded into the line now. So that's a good sign, though, that's not there as it was. It was like really significant all the way back for a long period of time. There was a storm warning. Let's set this one. Okay, yeah, so the limbs of power lines down just west of the city. That's in Vienna and Johnson, Illinois. So that was that storm report earlier. I just kind of read it only while I was on a break there. These storms are starting to push across into West Kentucky, though. Marion, definitely get ready for. Be prepared for some pretty significant thunderstorms here. Definitely strong thunderstorms. Not going with any warnings right now as yet. So we'll just keep an eye on these storms, see if they do anything. Storms down here, keep an eye on them still. They're trying to pull us back up here in McLeansboro, actually. These storms right here. So I'll have to keep an eye on those. But these storms up here, though, that's just to the west of St. Louis. That's not too bad looking. That's actually, those are starting to kind of form up here. That likely going to affect more north of our area, though. That's a good sign for that. Those are going to be moving more toward like Indianapolis, Terre Haute, places like that, while these storms are going to be moving more south. So we'll be right back, though. We'll come back and we'll watch these storms as they continue. Since we don't have any warnings right now, there's no point in me going wall-to-wall coverage for y'all. But I will keep this radar up, keep the live stream going. So thanks for watching. All right, Zachary Jennings here, back with Metro Weather Watch. Cutting in again because this is starting to kind of notice this little system right here, this part of the storm. This is once again kind of starting to show signs of rotation. This is the same part of the storm that has had the hook echo previously, as you can see. That was when the hook echo really significantly kind of fell apart, and once again now it's starting to see it's starting to come back around again, and you see it on velocity as well. You see that clear, yeah, still pretty broad rotation right here, but definitely see if there's going to be a tornado, it's going to probably try to produce right in here, and it's kind of concerning because there is a so it's definitely concerning to see this happening once again. The storm's starting to try to rotate once again. We'll have to keep an eye on it though as it progresses. The radar is kind of stuck inside the rain right now, so probably start getting some kind of bad images probably. And if we have to, we can switch though, and hopefully pick up something. So we're gonna keep an eye on this though, because this storm is definitely something we need to watch for. See on the internet also showing up on there. Yeah, right in there, just south of Carsville. Just out there, Carsville, Kentucky here. That's where we're going to be watching for this possible area rotation trying to form. Once again, the exact same part of the storm that caused more than likely a tornado back here in the Balcom area in Illinois. So more than likely this is going to be a possible tornado, I should say. It very likely did, though. And once again, you see the same part of the storm starting to try to wrap back up again. Exact same section. So we'll be keeping an eye on this storm as it goes. Paducah, I'm not sure how they fare too well. I haven't heard anything yet, so we'll see how it will come from there. That storm kind of looked like a weekend has moved in. Elizabethtown in Illinois.
Zach, the radar is not showing.
Oh, the radar is not showing?
Okay. Either that or it's just not shared with me.
Let's see here. Yep, that's right. So it must have kicked off. Okay, here we go. Try this again. Send it to everyone. Nope. All right, yeah. So we may have to pop out of here. Yeah, I was telling them, though, there was an area rotation starting to show up again once again on the exact same spot. It kind of evened out and flattened out, but it's starting to show up again. What we're going to do, though, we're going to reset, and we'll be right back, I guess. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. We'll reset here.